Good morning, students. Yesterday we have done Maxwell equation solutions. We have completed that for conducting media and free space, and we got the values for skin depth also, depth of penetration, that the distance where the electromagnetic wave energy reduces to 1 by E times of its original part. Today we are starting our lecture with the pre-known things. Some of the values you have already achieved during your physics classes in 11th and 12th. So I am starting first with the topic electromagnetic energy density. As you know that electromagnetic energy consists of two parts. One part related to the energy of energy related to electrostatic part, another is the magnetostatics part. All of you have calculated that electrostatic field energy can be given by 1 by E 1 by 2 integral E dot D dV. This is D is the displacement vector over here, and it can be summed up if D is to be epsilon naught E, then epsilon naught by 2 E square dV. So this will be the electrostatic field energy. Now if we talk about the magnetostatic part, magnetostatic field energy is given by Wm. So I am representing like this will be the magnetic field energy 1 by 2 B dot H dV. So and if we see it can be derived from the value of H, if we can get B by mu naught, so 1 by 2 mu naught B square dV. Now the total these two parts are available in electromagnetic energy, and we can sum up total energy stored in electromagnetic field. The energy will be the sum of these two parts, right? So we can easily get this value over here. Now if we sum up only this part, half of E dot D and half of B dot H, the total electromagnetic energy is given by this equation. The electromagnetic energy density, because when we say that during within the volume energy WEM is present, so if we take this dV here, so it will be energy per unit volume. So energy per unit volume consists of electromagnetic energy density, and that is given by UEM. So this UEM is the universal symbol used for energy density, as we have already discussed many a times, I hope earlier, that this symbol will be for universal energy density. So UEM will be equal to 1 by 2 epsilon naught E square plus B square by mu naught, and in terms of the total E dot and H dot B, it will be half of the sum of those two values. So this will be these expressions we will be using for electromagnetic energy density. Okay, so now the most important part what we are going to discuss is the Poynting vector, and I request all of the students to concentrate on this and the derivation part also, because it requires some definite steps, definite, you can say, one formula easily you can get into. So Poynting vector actually represent it is a vector, but it is representing the amount of energy. So we can say that rate of energy traveled through per unit area, okay, that is the amount of energy flowing through per unit area per unit time. So you can say amount of energy per unit time, that is the power, the amount of energy per unit time. It means power flowing through per unit area in the perpendicular direction. So when the power flows the perpendicular direction, you can say the power flux to the incident energy is called Poynting vector. So perpendicular direction to the incident energy is called Poynting vector P. So Poynting vector is represented by P, and it is given by P is equal to E cross H. This is the value, and in terms of B, it is E cross B by mu. And according to the environment, we can put the value like E cross B by mu naught or E cross B by mu for any conducting media. Now direction of P, because it's the cross product, direction of P will always be the perpendicular to the plane containing E and H vectors. Okay. And P is also called instantaneous energy flux density. That's what I am saying. P is also called instantaneous energy flux density. And because we have discussed over here that it is the power flowing per unit area, so the unit of P will be watt per meter square. This need to be remembered. The unit of Poynting vector will be watt per meter square. So after getting the idea what Poynting vector is, we are moving to the part which is most important part, that how we can get the value of the energy flowing. This is given by the Poynting theorem. Poynting theorem states that net power flowing out of a given volume, and the volume is suppose V, is equal to the time rate of decrease of stored electromagnetic energy in that volume minus the conduction losses. You can understand like this, suppose in a room there is energy is confined, and in that particular room if we open one outlet, then whatsoever the energy will flow from that outlet, that will be equal to, the flow will be equal to the rate with which the internal total stored energy will decrease minus whatsoever the energy will be used with the walls of that particular room. So the conduction losses will be there. So those conduction losses definitely should be there. So it's a kind of, you can say, energy conservation law, that whatsoever the energy is stored, that will remain, the total energy will remain, but when the flow is taken to be considered, then the flow of energy is equal to the decrease of rate, time rate of the stored energy inside that particular enclosure minus the conduction losses. So it can also be easily be given the total power leaving the volume is equal to rate of decrease of stored electromagnetic energy minus ohmic power dissipated due to motion of charge. This ohmic power dissipated in terms of, you can say, the electromagnetic effects are there due to loss of energy when charge motion is available. So this loss is in the conduction material. So how to prove this equation, how to get the values out of it, and how to prove. So there are certain steps. I am starting with the very simple steps, as you know that one by one step we can achieve this derivation. We know that the things like Maxwell equations can do can perform very well in these type of environments, and for that we will be using the Maxwell equations in differential form again. The first equation, divergence D is equal to 0. Why it is 0? Because it's a charge free. Okay, we are considering that it is charge free conducting media. The second part what we were dealing with in the earlier topics, charge free conducting media. Divergence B is equal to 0. Curl of E is equal to minus del B by del T, and curl of H is J plus del D by del T. So it's a conducting media, so J will be available, as already we have discussed I think twice in my last class. Now what we will do, we have to get the solution of these Maxwell equations, how to solve this for getting the value of the energy. Now take the scalar product of third equation with H and fourth equation with E. So if you see that the third equation is curl E and the fourth equation is curl S, so we will take the multiplication by H here and E with here and over here. So we take H curl E is equal to minus H dot del B by del T and E dot curl H. So this is scalar multiplication we will get for these two equations. E curl H is equal to E dot H plus E dot del D by del T. So we got the other two equations. Now if we subtract the second equation from the first equation, so H curl E minus E curl H, so we will get this minus the subtraction. So you can remember the steps. The first of all, write down the Maxwell equations. Second step, you take the scalar product of the curl of E with H and curl of H with E. Subtract the second equation from the first equation, right? So these are the three steps you have to perform. After that, you know that divergence of A cross B is a simple formula using in differential calculus. Divergence of A cross B is B curl A minus A curl B. So if we take into account this formula, B curl A minus A curl B is equal to divergence of A cross B, and over here after subtraction we got H curl E minus E curl H. So it means this is the divergence of E cross H. So we got divergence of E cross H is equal to rest of the subtraction part. So this is our seventh equation. Now further we know that P is equal to mu H and D is equal to epsilon E. I think all of you know that. So H dot, what we will do for this value? For this value we will calculate H dot del B by del T, put the value of mu H, we will solve it, we will get del by del T half H dot B. So this value we got for this. And for electric part we got E dot del D by del T, E dot del by del T epsilon E. So we can get this equation for that. So using these two parts in our last equation, divergence E cross H is equal to minus del by del T. So this part, you know, I think you must have remembered this part. Half H dot B plus E dot D. We have seen this. Half E dot D plus H dot B. What it is? Total electromagnetic energy density. So that thing we have already in mind. So this is our stored energy, right? This is our stored energy density. Now if we integrate over the volume, the complete equation, what we will get? Divergence of E cross H dV is equal to minus of the complete energy minus dV minus this part E dot J dV. Use the Gauss divergence theorem. If you use the Gauss divergence theorem, this is the volume integral. We can easily convert this equation into our surface integral. Why? Because Gauss divergence theorem says that volume integral of any vector field, surface integral of any vector field is equal to the divergence of is equal to the volume integral of divergence of that vector field. So this is the vector field E cross H. So it can be easily converted to E cross H dot ds. Other things will remain same, but what we will do, we will put the value of this half H dot B plus E dot D, we will replace it by total energy density UEM. Okay, so dV. So this value we can replace. So over here if we find that E cross H is our pointing vector, P dot ds is equal to minus of integral del by del T. It is you can say the minus and rate and volume integral. So UEM dV. So UEM dV represents what? Rate of decrease of stored electromagnetic energy. Rate is given by del T, minus shows the decrease, and this part UEM dV is the energy stored. What is then this E dot J dV? This E dot J represents the ohmic losses, or you can say the conduction losses. So we can make out P dot ds, total power leaving the volume, is equal to rate of decrease of stored electromagnetic energy minus ohmic power loss due to charge motion. So this satisfies our Poynting theorem. So this expression is the expression for Poynting theorem, and it is very important as far as you can say the energy conservation law for electromagnetism. So this equation, also known as Poynting theorem, this is also known as work energy theorem, this is also called as energy conservation law in electromagnetism. So you must have remembered the steps, how to calculate this, how to prove this theorem. It's very important, and we will be using this for finding the value of the electromagnetic energy density and electromagnetic energy in any volume, in any environment, and we will be solving some numericals in our next class. So in the next class, the topics will be a few numericals we will solve based on Maxwell equation and its solution, as well as some numericals on Poynting vector and Poynting theorem. So be prepared. I request all the students to please take care of this derivation, as well as try to do the calculation at your own with pen and paper mode. Okay, thank you. Bye.